There are too many people who are in positions of power who don't have anyone they care about who serves. When you don't care about something, it's hard to pay attention to it.
There's a lot of antagonism that's grown between military personnel and civilians.
If the military is being used by people that don't understand it, that leads to greater frustration on the military part, and it also leads to misadventures.
I do, in fact, believe there is a crisis at hand in U.S. civil-military relations.
Our work is appreciated, of that I am certain. There isn't a town or a city I visit where people do not convey to me their great pride in what we do. Even those who do not support the wars support the troops. But I fear they do not know us. I fear they do not comprehend the full weight of the burden we carry or the price we pay when we return from battle.
We're at a place now in civilian-military relations in this country that I would describe as the perfect storm for several reasons. One is that, first of all, the military is so incredibly expensive. It has to be intensively involved in what it's doing, but it's a tiny, tiny minority of the people who are costing everybody a bundle. Incredible sacrifices being brought for not any visible reason, and by the same token, a civilian population that is going about its business.
Military, financed by more money than the rest of the world spends on its armed forces, has arrived at a critical crossroads. The American people, although supportive of their military, are weary of endless and costly conflicts. While those in Washington seem to have lost sight of the price to be paid in taxes and blood. Has the vital link between the citizen, the soldier, and the country's leaders been broken? America has global interests and responsibilities, but it is ignoring a fundamental fact. There is a critical divide at home, a gap that has frustrated our military successes and puts our national security at risk.
Time of peace. This is a time of war. It's the longest war in our history, and it has been fought by the smallest share of our population in any wartime situation. The American people themselves have not been called upon to make any specific kind of sacrifice. We haven't been selling war bonds. We haven't raised taxes to pay for the war. Indeed, early on, a lot of the folks in the military sort of say to themselves, you know, we went off to war and everybody else back home went off to Walmart.
How did this gap between the military and the people start? New York's prestigious Columbia University holds a key. Since 1916, Columbia has had a historic connection to the U.S. Navy through the NROTC, or Naval Reserve Officers Training Corps. The goal was to link the military with university life and the leaders of tomorrow. But in the spring of 1968, protests over racism, the draft for the war in Vietnam, and the presence of the NROTC on campus ignited a riot and changed a generation's attitudes towards the military.
There was a rally, student rally here in this open space. I stood here with my friend, the eminent public intellectual Dan Bell, and we watched this growing assembly. And Dan said to me, at this point, it will either dissipate or blow up. And it blew up.